The moment you react, you become measurable. That's the loss, not the argument, the reaction. Anger makes you readable. Defensiveness makes you weak. Over-explaining makes you easy. One reaction, and people start adjusting around your insecurities. That fast, you think you're expressing yourself. They think they found the opening. And pay attention to what happens after that. They stop joking with you the same way. Stop respecting your boundaries completely. Some just watch you differently after they see what gets under your skin. That's the shift you never notice. Emotionally reactive people keep getting controlled without realizing it. Too easy to provoke. Too easy to predict. Too easy to study. Every reaction removes uncertainty. Every reaction removes tension. Every reaction tells people, this is where I break. Calm people don't give that away. That's why they disturb people. No access, no emotional handles, no visible pressure points. But reactive people leak constantly. And once people see what moves you emotionally, the image they had of you changes permanently. Because now they know your composure has conditions. Now they know you can be reached. And they treat you very differently once they realize that. Very differently. If you still react before you observe, you've already lost. And most people lose in the first 5 minutes. Every reaction trains people. That's the part nobody tells you. You think people forget emotional moments? They don't. They study them. That friend who keeps joking disrespectfully around you, he already tested your emotional range before. That's why he's comfortable now. That coworker who smirks while you're explaining yourself. Watch closely. They're not listening anymore. They're watching you lose emotional control in real time. People repeat what works on you. That's human nature. Not evil. Not personal. Conditioning. You react. They adjust. You react again. They adjust again. Now they know the formula. Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. But here's the part people skip. What irritates you is also what controls you. That's the exposure. People don't just learn from your reactions. They learn about you from your reactions. That's why some people can insult you once and somehow already know exactly where to aim the second time. You revealed the opening yourself. And the worst reactions are never anger. It's defensiveness. The instant need to explain yourself. The instant need to correct perception. The instant need to prove you're not bothered while clearly being bothered. People see that immediately. Especially emotionally intelligent people. That's why calm down works on reactive people so well. Not because the words are powerful, because the person already knows they control your emotional state. That's the humiliation. And once people learn your emotional patterns, your reactions stop feeling dangerous. Now they're expected. Your anger becomes routine. Your defensiveness becomes predictable. Your emotional spikes become scheduled. And predictable people lose psychological weight fast. Because there's no tension anymore. No uncertainty. No risk. Everybody already knows what you're about to do. That's why the loudest person in the room eventually becomes the easiest person to ignore. And honestly, if you're able to recognize this level of human behavior, subscribe. Because once people can predict your emotional output, they stop reacting to you altogether. And this is where reactive people become a joke without realizing it. Everybody knows that one person, the one who gets loud too fast, the one who has to respond to everything, the one who cannot let disrespect slide. So people start playing with them, not manipulating. Playing. Big difference. That guy in the group everyone keeps teasing? Notice something. Nobody's worried about his reaction. They're waiting for it. That's how you know someone lost emotional authority. Their reaction became part of the entertainment. Now watch what happens next. The reactive person thinks, they keep disrespecting me. Wrong. They keep returning because the reaction is satisfying. That's the addiction. Some people don't even like you. They like access to your emotions. And the fastest way to become predictable is to keep showing people exactly what reaches you emotionally. Now they can feel you coming before you speak. That kills mystery immediately. The person who reacts to everything never feels deep, just obvious. Everybody already knows what offends them, what hurts them, what controls them too quickly. That's why silence unsettles people. No emotional clues, no access, no certainty. William Shakespeare said, "The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool." Most people hear themselves reacting and still think they look composed. That's the blindness. Meanwhile, everybody else already mapped them emotionally. And you can test this yourself. Watch how fast people reveal themselves when you disagree with them calmly. Some instantly become defensive. Some become loud. Some start explaining too much. Some cannot hide the need to be liked. That's the real introduction, not their words, their reaction. And be honest with yourself for a second. Most people can tell what controls you emotionally within 10 minutes. For some people it's disrespect, for others it's rejection, for others it's the need to look strong. What exposes you the fastest? Because beneath emotional reactions, there's usually something much uglier hiding underneath. And underneath most reactions, there's panic, not power. Panic! That's why people react instantly. They're trying to escape the feeling as fast as possible. That guy screaming during an argument? Look closer. He's overwhelmed. That woman sending paragraph after paragraph after getting ignored? Same thing. Emotional bleeding, trying to regain control through reaction. That's why reactions feel good for a moment. Relief. Temporary relief. Anger releases pressure. Defensiveness releases pressure. Over-explaining releases pressure. None of it solves anything. It just exposes who cannot handle discomfort internally. That's the real difference. Some people feel pressure and leak immediately. Others absorb it without collapsing publicly. That's self-control. And most people don't have it. You can see it instantly during silence, especially silence. Nothing exposes emotional instability faster. No reply, no reassurance, no emotional feedback. Now watch the spiral begin. Double texting, long explanations, passive-aggressive posts, fake indifference, forced laughter, anything to escape uncertainty. Because silence traps people with themselves, and most people cannot survive there for long. That's why silence feels so violent to emotionally reactive people. No release, no distraction, no emotional exit, just pressure, raw pressure. And the people who need emotional release the fastest usually call themselves real or honest. No, undisciplined, that's the word. If this video is irritating you a little, good. That probably means you recognized yourself somewhere in it. Leave a like. Send it to somebody who still thinks emotional reactions make them look strong, because eventually, you realize the people with the most control are usually the people nobody can emotionally rush. And eventually, you stop needing emotional victories. That's when people lose access to you. Most people cannot survive a misunderstanding without panicking. Immediate explanation, immediate defense, immediate reaction, like their entire identity is on fire. That's weakness. The need to constantly correct perception is weakness. The need to be understood by everybody is weakness. The need to emotionally win every interaction is weakness. That's why some people stay controlled forever. Anybody can move them emotionally with the right sentence. One insult ruins their day. One rejection destroys their composure. One cold response sends them spiraling for hours. No internal authority. Just emotional dependence disguised as personality. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Most people have no why. That's why tiny emotional discomfort controls them completely. No direction, no internal weight, no center. So they react to everything. People with real emotional control don't look desperate to be understood. They don't chase emotional closure. They don't rush to repair every uncomfortable moment. They can let tension sit there, unresolved, without humiliating themselves trying to escape it. That's power, not dominance, freedom. And once people realize they can no longer emotionally pull you out of position, the entire dynamic changes immediately. You stop looking emotionally available. You stop looking easy to influence. You stop looking controllable. The goal was never becoming emotionless. The goal was becoming unreachable to emotional manipulation. Because the moment your inner state stops depending on other people, you stop being emotionally owned. And if this video made you uncomfortable in the right places, don't ignore that. Most people spend their entire lives protecting the exact behaviors destroying their self-control. Watch the next video, then the next one after that. These conversations connect whether people realize it or not.